Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to the annual general meeting of the Canadian Association of Road Safety Professionals. I hope that you're enjoying the conference, different as it is, but I hope that you are enjoying keeping up to date with the latest information and data and research, not only in Canada but from Europe as well. I'm Mavis Johnson. I'm currently just acting president as we go through a nomination process for our next one. And I'd like you, we'll follow the following agenda. Next. I'll introduce the committees and the staff of CARSP and talk about our board members and our outgoing members. Paul Bowles will then, as the Treasurer, will introduce the CARSP financial report for 2020. Brenda, the Executive Director, will then give a brief activity report about the types of projects that CARSP is currently involved in. Then Robert Colonna is the Chair of the Young Professionals Committee. He will be talking about some of the activities that they are doing or upcoming activities. He will also cover off a safety network newsletter, which he is on the committee of. And then finally, Brian Jonah, who will be chairing a conference next year in Sudbury, will be introducing you to the city and talking about next year's conference. So if you go to the next slide, please. Many of you who are members will know that we do have a board of directors and in coordination with them, we also produce the Safety Network newsletter. Again, Robert will talk about that later. We have our executive director, Brenda Suggett, who looks after all the administration and the day-to-day running of the organization, and has been very instrumental in ensuring that this conference is going off safely. Within the board, we have several working committees, and these are the people that are doing most of the work. And then the people, the chairs of the committees are represented on our executive committee. So we have a structure and governance committee who are pretty much responsible for the bylaws and rules and nominations and everything else around the organization. That position of chair is currently vacant. Brian Jonah is the chair of the Membership and Marketing Committee, and this is a very active committee that ensures that all of CARSP's messages are getting out, that we're soliciting new members and marketing our programs. Paul Bowles is the treasurer or responsible for the Finance Committee. And then Robert is the chair of the Young Professionals Committee. And on each of these committees, we have a variety of board members and members at large. And we encourage you to join one of these committees should you have the time and the interest. Our current board members are as listed here. Some of them are new, just recently elected, and some have been on for a while. But all these people, and if we were in a real non-virtual meeting, we would be standing up to show you who we are. But I don't need to read these names off. You can read them for yourself. These people represent a variety of disciplines and are very committed to the organization. We also want to thank the outgoing board members, recently retired, Shabnam Afzal, Tony, and Alexander Crizzle, Trevor and Alex Nollet, Liz Owens and Rob Wilkinson, who together contributed many years of activity to the board of CARSP. And so we do thank them for their service. And many of them will remain on committees, and we're very grateful for that. So if we move on to the next slide. And I think Paul is now going to talk about the income and expense statement.
Thank you, Mavis. So here we have the income expense statement. In the first column, you can see what we budgeted. In the second column, you can see the actuals. Membership was down. This has not been a perfect year for sure, but conference registration has been up, which we hadn't actually budgeted because there was no conference last year. Next. So with respect to expenditures, we have the budget and the actuals. The safety project, the vehicle safety project was delayed a year because of what was going on. See bank charges, the board members fund, executive services, that's for staff and so on, related to the conference and also to run the organization, board insurance, operating expenses, the M&M fund, the website for conferences, and the Young Professionals Committee. Next. So excess revenue over expenditures. You can see that we budgeted 12,000. We ended up at 13,000, but on the revenue investment, we only budgeted 120, but we came in at $2,300. So that means excess over revenue over expenses was 11,000. The net assets at the beginning of the year was as stated there. So the net assets at the ending of the year, you can infer that we suffered a loss this year, which is true. There was the conference that didn't happen. We had to give refunds. So like everywhere else, it was a messed up year. Next. Okay, so the budget for 2021, there it is. We're looking for 14,000 in membership revenue, profit from the conference, which is being split with PRI, prepaid expenses. That's money that was put forward in support of the conference that had to be paid out early, which will be reconciled at the end. So total revenue 46,627.78. Next. So here's what the expenditures are looking at. Again, the big ticket item is running the organization. There's funds for this conference that we're in right now and also for next year. The review engagement, I want to take a second to talk about that. A couple of years ago at the AGM, we used to have a couple of independent members review the books and tell the membership what they thought about it. And somebody had suggested maybe we needed a more formal process. So because we're not-for-profit organization, a full-blown regular audit just didn't make sense. But we hired auditors who have an expertise in not-for-profit organizations to go through the records for 2019 and 2020 and give a position on what they think the state of our finances are and how well they're represented in the books that we're keeping. As a result of that, they made a number of suggested changes in the way we keep the books so that we're more up to date and give a more factual representation at any moment in time. At the end of it, they issued this statement, which they signed off on. It's McFarland and Associates, and the board signed off on. It says, there is nothing that has come to our attention that causes us to believe the financial statements do not present fairly in all material respects the financial position of CARSP for the financial 2020 in accordance with Canadian accounting standards for not-for-profit organizations. So after examining 2 years of the books, that's what they came up with. Next. So there are two resolutions. We're not going to vote on these now because this is really weird, but the membership will be sent these resolutions with a little bit of information and will be asked for a vote. But the first one is that we accept the 2020 financial statement as accepted by McFarland and Associates, and the 2021 budget as we presented here. Next. And we also resolved that CARSP, being a non-soliciting, not-for-profit corporation, will conduct again in 2020 run a review engagement so that there is an independent review of our books using standardized accounting principles. So that votes on those resolutions will go out in the near future, and you can vote on them and hopefully positively, and then we'll be able to report back. Mavis, that's the financial report.
All right, over to me. Hello, everybody. My name is Brenda Suggett, and I'm the Executive Director of CARSP, and I'm here to give you an update on our activities. We're in the midst of our annual conference, our flagship event. This year, it's a joint conference, which we organized in conjunction with our partners, PRI, TURF, and Desjardins. And I'm happy to report we have over 350 people registered for this event. We're also extremely pleased with the program, how robust it is. We've had 3 keynote speakers. We're having 4 panels, almost 50 abstract presentations, as well as almost 50 poster presentations. We've given out lots of awards, five Lifetime Achievement Awards, the Mavis Johnson Award for Policy and Practice submission, as well as the Charles Miller Award for Research and Evaluation paper will both be given out tomorrow. There's also been a high emphasis on students and young professionals. This included a student paper competition, a student poster competition, plus the 3-part symposium. This past year has not been without its challenges due to the global pandemic. As Paul alluded to earlier, we had to cancel our conference. We lost revenue. We were, however, able to host a 6-part webinar series, which we ran last year. On a positive note, we are excited to share that we are building a knowledge exchange and training hub for road safety professionals. And I will get to that in a minute. I will also be sharing some of our member survey results and giving you an update on our strategic planning. Next. The Knowledge Exchange and Training Hub. In early 2021, we were awarded almost $50,000 from Transport Canada's Enhanced Road Safety Transfer Payment Program to create this. This project has 2 parts, the knowledge exchange and the training. With respect to the first part, knowledge exchange, this is the idea of facilitating information exchange amongst our members and with the broader road safety community. We realize that there's this wealth of knowledge and expertise within our 450 plus members. An example is we're using our members' expertise to develop a road safety information section, which has road safety knowledge and research on priority road safety issues. This will actually be posted and published after the conference. We're also updating and expanding our advanced vehicle safety system section, as well as doing a refresh of our newsletter. We received a lot of great information from our member survey on how we will proceed with that. We're also doing a refresh of our website. We're trying to make it easier for you to find information. With respect to the training hub, we wanted to learn what our members' information and training needs are. And so to do this, we conducted a member survey. We did a needs assessment. We asked them, what did you want to learn? We also wanted to know the areas that they were working on. We wanted to compile a list of experts in terms of the areas they were working on And we wanted to see if they were willing to train each other. All this information is going to be channeled into developing monthly webinars, which we will be starting this September. And that's up from our quarterly webinars that we've been offering for the last 4 years. We're also going to offer more workshops as well. Next. So the member survey results. I'm just going to give you a few sample results today, but there will be a full report which will be posted on the website. So in general, we had 110 respondents, so that's about 25% response rate of our 450 members. This first slide actually shows the number of years that the member had been, I should say the person had been a member of CARSP. So the first 2 bars are under 5 years, and then it's progressively more years as you go to the right. So 46%, or almost half, had been a CARSP member for less than 5 years, and roughly 6% have been a CARSP member for over 25 years. Next. We also asked them what business or employer they worked for. We found the highest percentage was from private engineering or transportation firms. This was followed by academic or research institutes, so academic in universities. The third and fourth category were government. They were federal, provincial, local, and they were engineering, but also road user behavior sections of government. Next. The next question we asked was, what are the topics that they'd like to learn about? We found the top categories were vulnerable road user safety, followed by collision prediction and prevention. After that was safe systems approach and Vision Zero, followed by speed limits, speeding, and other risky driving behaviors. And next was advanced vehicle safety systems. Next. We also asked them, what do you want to, or I should say, what areas are you working in currently in the last 2 to 3 years? Overall, these different categories and the percentages match the previous slide, which was the areas that they wanted to learn more about. And this makes sense. If you're working in that area, you do want to expand your knowledge and do a better job at what you're currently doing. There was one exception, and that was with advanced vehicle safety systems. More people wanted to learn about it than the proportion that we're currently working in that area. And as I mentioned before, there will be a full report of the member survey on the CARSP website. And I also want to mention that we will be doing a past member survey. We want to know why our previous members had left, and is there something we can do better now to bring them back and to better meet their knowledge and training needs. Next. Lastly, we did a strategic planning exercise earlier this year, and even though we've been offering conferences and panels and doing a lot of work in Vision Zero and safe systems approach and so forth, it was not in our actual vision and mission statement. So we wanted to align that with what we believed and what we put forward in terms of our programming. So we did that. We better aligned it, and we also aligned it with the UN Decade of Action. And as well, this will also be posted to the CARSP website. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Brenda. Hi, everyone. My name is Robert Colonna. I am the chair of the Young Professionals Committee. So the Young Professionals Committee is a subcommittee of CARSP, and we're really composed of a multidisciplinary group of students and young professionals interested in road safety. Some of our backgrounds include engineering and injury prevention and health promotion, public policy, even psychology and medicine. And we're hoping to gain a few more backgrounds over the coming years. So our vision is that we really believe that Canadian youth can work together to create safer transportation networks for all road users. Our mission statement is to create the capacity for road safety profession by generating awareness, advocating for evidence-based public policy and programming, and maintaining a national network of young road safety professionals. Some of the activities that we do, as Brenda mentioned, is running the student paper and poster competitions at the annual conference. We also host different networking events, both at the conference, and we're hoping to include some more outside of the conference in the upcoming years. In the past year or so, we've held an event at the Road Safety Forum, and we actually just recently held our first virtual event a couple of weeks ago. We're also proud to announce that in the last year, we expanded the executive committee to include 3 new executive members and then approximately 15 members at large. The new member at large role includes young professionals who want to stay connected and join the YPC, but might not have the actual time commitment to take on an executive role. So if you're interested in joining the YPC, I welcome you to email me at ypc_chair@carsp.ca. Now, the Safety Network newsletter, as we previously mentioned, is a quarterly newsletter for CARSP, and on average, we publish about 4 new newsletters each year. Be sure to look for an upcoming newsletter in the next month or so regarding the actual virtual conference that we're currently in. We're looking for your input, and we're looking for volunteers to contribute in any capacity that you can. This includes either helping with writing or editing or translating different articles. On average, the time commitment is 8 teleconferences per year. We're also looking for a new editor. So if you are interested, be sure to email Brenda. And I also want to thank the editorial board so far. There's a couple of us that are listed on the screen. So thank you for all your hard work. I'm now going to pass it over to Brian to discuss the conference for next year.
Oh, I hope you're enjoying this year's conference. We've got one more day left, and we've heard a lot of good presentations over the last couple of days. But I want to talk briefly about the conference next year. It's going to be in Sudbury in Northern Ontario, and it's going to be in June, I believe it's June 19th to 23rd. And we have a video that shows you a bit about Sudbury, so perhaps we could turn on that video. So there you go. That's the conference next year in Sudbury from June 19th to 22nd. This is the first time we've ever had the conference in Northern Ontario. So I hope you can all make it. There are flights that get in there through Toronto or other major cities. And also, if you're in the Toronto area, you can probably drive up there. It's only about 4 hours. So enjoy the rest of the conference, and hopefully we'll see you all at the Sudbury conference next year.